All right, we're going to call the meeting to order for July 12th, 2021 for the Mount Sterling Council meeting. Can we please get a roll call?
David.
Here.
Melanie.
Here.
Craig.
Here.
Becky.
Here.
Andy.
Here.
All is present.
All right. David?
Yeah.
Prayer, please.
Lord, thank you for this beautiful day you gave us. And Lord, be with our council tonight as we make decisions, and be with Jay as he heads the council tonight as we make the big decisions for the town. And Lord, be with all the people in the village and bless them all. In Jesus' wonderful name, amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next we have approving the minutes from the wastewater work session held on June 9th, 2021, and a council meeting that was held on June 28th, 2021. Could we please have the motion to approve meeting minutes?
I'll give you that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so that was Andy and David. Roll call, David.
Yes.
Melanie.
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We're going to get down to the mayor's report. Let me pull up a quick email that she sent me. She wanted me to read. Give me one second here. This is kind of to, obviously, Marcy, Mayor Darlington is not here tonight. She does have some personal things going on. She didn't want to make a statement, starting off to explain. So 4 years ago, her elderly parents moved in with her and her husband, John. In the last 2 months, both parents have shown significant declines, and they have made a family decision to transition them to a more setting that is more conducive for their care and safety. And so obviously that's a hard time for a lot of families to make that decision, make that move. So our thoughts or prayers are with her in the transition and with her family making these hard decisions. She did state she'll be back to her regular hours midweek and appreciates everybody's understanding. All right, thank you. For President Pro Temp report, we have a lot going on in our village. Just been the summer months and things are unraveling and going. We are in the process of meetings and making decisions. So we've been plenty busy. The community's been plenty busy with a lot of events and just kids are out. Sports are starting to pick up. The fair's going on right now. So it's really another good hustle time for Madison County and also a lot of folks in our community. So it was exciting to see things alive and well. So next, do we have any public comments? Nope, okay. No executive session, so we're gonna go ahead and jump straight to department reports. Sheriff report, do we have one from the sheriff?
We do not.
All right. Law director,
We do not.
no report. Utilities clerk,
We do not. She attends the meetings on the last council meeting of each month.
okay, thank you. Zoning and building.
We do not.
All right. Well, I guess to give us something to do, Ms. Bricker, will you please,
Come down.
Well, I do have something, okay?
fill us in?
Okay, so I just wanted to remind everybody, we did put this and place this on our village website. They will be doing, when I say we, Madison County Water and Sanitation Department will be doing a distribution flush. And what that means is they'll be opening up hydrants and cleaning out lines, sort of kind of like what the fire department does, but they do a more in-depth inspection and testing. These are just to kind of isolate certain lines to cover them so that some people that experience discoloration, sediment in their water possibly, don't be alarmed. They will be starting that tomorrow and it will go for the rest of the week. So I just give that as a forewarning. The only time you need to report anything is if you have no water at all. So there should not be any boil alerts, water valve shutoffs, or anything like that. You'll just experience some of that discoloration. But if you have any issues like that, please let me know. Call me here at the office. Email me, message me. Just let me know if you guys are experiencing any issues.
How often do they do those?
Twice a year. Yep. They usually do it around the springtime, on the off time that the fire department does it, because they have to do certain inspections and stuff. So they usually do it in the spring and fall, but the fire department, I believe they did theirs in May. Okay, so on to the financial reports. Again, I didn't receive any messages or comments from any council members, so if you guys don't have any questions about that, and just reviewing some of these, you will see, obviously, what you're going to be approving this evening will be for the June monthly reconciliation. So these reports that you have in front of you, these are for the month of June and the month of June only. We just held our finance, I believe Andy's going to talk about that in his report. But all our finances in regards to revenues and expenditures, obviously expenditures are below what's budgeted. Revenues are at or slightly meets where we should be budgeted at this time this year. I did announce to them during their committee meetings that probably in the next couple months, we will be talking about budget for 2022. So if you are a chair or involved in any of those committees, please be thinking about what your budget may look like for 2022, okay? So that is all that I have in regards to the financial reports. If there were any questions, please let me know. As far as the June bank reconciliation for 2021, there were no out of balances. Every penny and dollar has been accounted for, nothing more, nothing less. So everything that came through the village was correctly appropriated. There were a few check returns, so you will see that reflection here made on the adjustments. So those were in regards to water bill payments, some return checks. So if I may ask, I would actually need a motion to approve the appropriation status, the revenue status, the receipt listing report, the payment listing report, the appropriation of budget and appropriated report, the cash summary by fund, the reader report, and the bank reconciliation for June of 2021.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
That was Craig and Andy. Roll call. Melanie.
Yes.
Craig.
Yes.
Becky.
Yes.
Andy.
Yes.
David.
Dale?
Did you say it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I should have said yeah, but I said yes.
Okay, so I'm going to circulate this around. If I could please capture your signatures on 2 of the approvals as well as the bank reconciliation. And that is all the report that I have for today.
Thank you, Courtney. Next, we're going to jump over to our committee reports. If we could please start with that. Mr. Drake, can we please cover finance?
As Courtney says, things are pointed, here we are at the middle of the year, things are pointed the right direction. Expenditures are relatively modest, although we do have some unplanned expenditures that the folks have been dealing with in terms of the roads, but otherwise, things are holding up. That's not to say it's Christmas time in the village. This is a time for us to then go into 2022 thinking, all right, what can we get done with what we have? And how can we make every dollar get stretched a little bit? So we are going back, and the budgeting process will start probably in July, August timeframe, because we would like to have it in a timely, wrapped up way before the end of the year. 2022 is still with COVID question mark. It's a little bit of a bogey, but otherwise, everything all said and done, we are sticking to our budget, and the budget is looking solid. So, knock on wood that continues, and of course, if we have to make course corrections, we will. But if anyone has any questions about the budget, we're happy to open everything up, or you can go on to Ohio Checkbook if you're in your living room or at the computer and take a look at what the Village of Mount Sterling has filed most recently. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Fritz with Pleasant Township.
They held a meeting July 5th. I wasn't at the meeting before, but they were talking about old business, I guess. Mason and Sons dumpster rental had reached out to them about getting dumpsters. I guess some other townships around here get dumpsters from them 4 times a year and have little community cleanup events. So they decided that that would be something they would be interested in doing, not 4 times a year, but 2 times a year. And I reminded them that we do have the cleanup days, and that is something that they could piggyback on with us. At first, they said that they wanted to get the dumpsters, they were gonna put them outside on the outskirts of the township, and that it was gonna be for people who were not in the village to put their stuff in. And I reminded them that the village is part of the township and that they cannot exclude us if they have dumpsters on the outside of the village. So I think they're gonna work with us. Hopefully, you know, we're not gonna put a line over who we are gonna clean up and put in what dumpster, but it sounds like the township's gonna work with us a little bit more than they have in the past with cleanup days. So I'm gonna get with them, let them know our October date. Hopefully, it'll be an even bigger, better time this next time around. We can get people farther out, you know, out in the country roads. If there's things that people need to clean up, let's make the whole township beautiful. Next meeting is August 2nd at 7 PM, and I asked them if they were gonna continue on the once a month, now that with all the COVID restrictions, and they seem to think that it's working fine, just meeting once a month, so we're gonna stick with that. That's all I got.
Thank you. Next, we have squad, which I am the attendant for that. Quickly, our last meeting was at the 7th. Those are always usually held at 8 o'clock. Just quickly cover some things. Of course, of course, you can imagine these vehicles are being ran all the time, so they had to do an air conditioning fix, $1,500 plus fix. You know, we had the accident from a few weeks ago, a little bit of insurance there. We actually held a couple of interviews. One was for a part-time position, the other one was actually turned into a volunteer position. Great candidates. It was actually kind of funny because the one candidate, we asked what they did before, what they're doing now. They had a little experience and they're new, it's fine. And he literally said, "I drive a sausage truck," and it was the greatest response ever. It's just kind of lightened the mood a little bit because you're sitting surrounded by a board of, you know, some good old boys, and you have this young man, and but he held himself very well. But I'm very impressed with what we have. We actually hired a volunteer up to part-time, and we're excited what she's going to do for our 2-unit. Let's see here. Again, last time I mentioned about the new truck we ordered that cost literally hundreds of thousands of dollars, and so that takes a little bit of time. It'll take probably until the end of the year, even to next year, to receive that truck. And as we heard from the fire, if one thing is wrong with it, it goes back, and it could be a fiasco. So we're knocking on wood that it is good on the first set. We actually are implementing the range truck. We do have a truck that's out in Range Township. They are now starting a new schedule to accommodate the staff out there. It's now a 7 to 5 unit. So if you happen to live in that direction, but there will be volunteers and things to fill out that. But right now our full-timers are out there 7 to 5. New business, we ended up terminating another volunteer. You know, we have people that sign up to volunteer, but they kind of just quit showing up, and no call, no shows, so you kind of get booted off that list. So all in all, it's running very well over there. Chief Taylor's doing a phenomenal job, and our next meeting is August 11th at 8 a.m. over at the Squad Bay. Next, 8 p.m. Yeah, sorry, 8 p.m. Good old nighttime. All right, next we have Mr. Hicks with fire.
I have no report. The next meeting is July 29th.
Mr. Hicks again with the water, wastewater.
Our text from Madison County Water has a GIS mapping system, and they have gone around already and they've mapped all our fire hydrants, and they're looking to go ahead and map our water and shutoff valves for our mains. They also, with the new phone contract, they have Wi-Fi now, and they're allows them to monitor the panels in the water and the sewer plants on their phones. So,
Nice.
and that's all I have. And our next water meeting will be August the 4th at 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
a.m.
That's okay. All right, next we have Mr. Drake again with the streets.
Sure, in the last committee meeting, we talked a lot about placement of signs, what we were going to do as far as signs, as well as putting a uniform policy around handicap parking in the village. We've had a number of requests around just the use of handicap facilities in the village as it relates to public streets. And so the committee is trying to make sure that we do this in a measured and a even way for everybody. So look for a recommendation to come out of that committee to council here in the next, probably the next meeting or so. We also have on deck discussion around what our next round of potholes that we're going to patch with our own staff, and then potentially looking at a fall round of large potholes for another contractor to come in and patch those as well. So we are going to have a busy remainder of the year, and I expect streets to be a topic of discussion during budget season, almost guaranteed. So thank you for that, everybody, and patience going into that in advance. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Fritz, with Parks and Rec.
All right, we had our meeting, I forget the
We
date.
changed it. It was originally
It's supposed to be the
scheduled,
5th.
and then we changed it to the 7th, July
All right,
7th.
so July 7th, we had our meeting. We talked about movie nights. Our next movie is Up. I hope everybody comes out. It was a beautiful turnout the last time. I believe Friends of the Library is going to be doing concession stands again. It's bike safety night. We got some helmets to give away. Hoping to get a few more. If not, and it's okay. Maybe a couple bikes to give away. So I want everybody to come on out for that. Bring the kids. We had so much fun the last time. Food and Fleas the next day, August 1st. Me and Becky are going to be exhausted. We'd like to do like a fly a kite type of theme. So if anybody has a kite, they want to come out, get a bunch of kites in the sky out there during the food and flea market this time. We also talked about starting a Friends of the Park. We have a couple people in the community that are interested. We have a lot of projects in the park that need to be taken care of. And it's more than, just one committee can handle. We need the whole community. We have fences that need fixed. We have a bathroom problem needs solved. If we just pull some members of the community in together, we're hoping that they can come up with some great ideas to bring back to council. Hopefully get some great things happening at that park. We do have a big grant we're up for next year. We need to start working on plans for that. So we started the ball on that. We're trying to get the information exactly what we need to have and how we're gonna lay it all out. We have the Adopt a Tree program we're gonna try to get up and running here pretty soon. We also want to have concrete slabs laid under the benches that we purchased with the COVID funds in December. That's why some of those benches aren't out at the park yet, because they're just heavy. If we put them out there, they're gonna sink into the grass. So we're trying to start an Adopt a Pad program too, and we're hoping that maybe Friends with the Park can help us get that rolling too. Our next meeting is going to be August 2nd at 8 a.m. Thank you.
Oh, also, you had donations.
Oh, yes,
about 130.
Becky raised some money at the Mad Hatter. Marcy has some stuff up there for sale. All the proceeds go to the park, and a member of the community makes some food, and when they sell it, it all goes to the park. We have about $100.
Yep, and I actually got another
Another
$30 as a
Okay.
donation. So we would just need to ask for a motion to accept donations in the amount of $130 to be earmarked to the Parks and Recreations Fund for revenues and expenditures.
I'll make that motion.
But-
I'll second.
Okay, Melanie first, and Becky second. Okay, roll call. Craig,
Yes?
Becky,
Yes.
Andy,
Yes?
David,
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Mr. Drake, record and retention.
We have not yet met this month. We will be meeting on Friday at 8 a.m.
All right. All right, Ms. Martin, nuisance and abatement.
Yes, we just recently had a meeting last week. We had a few residents come out, and we love to see that. We love to see our residents come and get involved with the community. They came out because we just had a recent round of tags that went out. And what tags are simply, if you have a nuisance violation according to our codes, the sheriff will put a tag on your door to alert you to it, and then hopefully you will address it. And there were some good arguments brought to us by residents about certain things. So we are planning on having a special nuisance meeting to address certain topics. So I believe that's scheduled for the 21st at 3:30 tentatively. On Facebook, you just can't please everyone. People gripe if we have 8 a.m. meetings, they gripe if we have 3:30 meetings. If we had it at 6, we'd probably have some gripes too. So we're going to stick with 3:30 unless, we hear from the public and the public really wants it later, then I don't have a problem with that. So tentatively right now, we're going to do it the 21st at 3:30. And we did select our beautiful yards of the month, and there are 3 of those that will be getting their signs put in their yard. And let's see here. We have our newsletter out you can pick up at Town Hall, and that is for June, July, and August. It tells you community events, any churches, organizations in the village that has wanted to put things in there. We've allowed that, and it's just a nice piece for a reference. So if you don't have that yet, you can pick that up at Town Hall. There's just a big stack of them out there. And, when Andy mentioned the streets is going to really need to have some input on that budget. I would say the same with nuisance. Nuisance doesn't ask for much funds. We actually don't have any funds that go to nuisance. But I would ask everyone start considering an enforcement officer and a village administrator that will help with those duties. So, with that said, our next meeting is August the 4th. Our next regular meeting is August the 4th at 3:30, right?
Yep.
Okay. That's all.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Mr. Timmons with Safety and Block Watch.
Yeah. On the Safety and Block Watch meeting for July, I had to cancel because I had some family matters, and one of them was a good family matter, and one was kind of sad what's happened in the family. But we had a birth in the family and a death in the family, but that's how things work out. But I do have some things to watch out for. The carjackings and going on areas, and I always like to bring up these things. Never leave your car door open and your keys in your ignition when you're putting your gas in. That's an open invitation, especially off the freeway. And also, another thing I want to bring up is the tick seasons out there. And it's the safety thing for me. If you're taking walks in the woods, make sure you check yourself for the deer tick. The deer tick can contain Lyme disease, or also you can get Rocky Mountain fever. So make sure when you're got a family out, make sure you look all over in that and everything. And we will be meeting on our next regular meeting on the first Thursday in August, Jay. So we'll be meeting then.
I thought it was the second Thursday.
Yeah, second Thursday, excuse me. Thanks, Courtney. I'm glad you're up there. Thank you.
12th?
Yep, at 4 o'clock.
Yes, 4 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then our last committee, we have Mr. Drick again with Planning and Zoning.
I don't have much to report. We continue to work on rationalizing all the various regs around things like fences and swimming pools and all that stuff to make sure the residents can understand just exactly what's supposed to happen if you want to put up a fence or put in a swimming pool. That said, there will be a special meeting on Wednesday around development in the village, which is always fun, and that's at 6 o'clock.
All right, great, thank you. All right, next on our agenda, we have ordinances and resolutions.
Okay, I have, only one tonight. We have ordinance 2021-12, an ordinance to adopt a mobile food truck vending permit. This is the third reading. If I may ask to read a response from a local business owner, if I may have the
Yes,
floor to
absolutely.
read an email?
Yep.
Okay, so bear with me as I read this. As a member of both the Mount Sterling Chamber of Commerce and the Mount Sterling Market Crew, as well as an owner of the Urban Pineapple, I am writing to stress my concerns over the food truck resolution, placing a $40 fee on a single-day event and a $75 fee on a 3-day event. Since opening my business in 2017, I have an active part in both the planning and overseeing of events that take place within the village. Along with many other business owners, events such as the spring, fall markets, summer jam, and shop hops are key to successes of our businesses, not only for the one day, but to let people know that we are here. So many times, people enter my business and say, "How long have you been here?" Or, "I drive through this town every day and have never noticed your store." Filling the streets with vendors, selling their goods is not only a boost for the local crafters who have had a place to sell for more than a year, but also have an advertisement for local businesses. I am confident if you talk to these businesses who choose to participate in the shop hop or extend their business hours to remain open during a special event, nearly all we would agree that sells for that day or days is probably more than the rest of the week combined. These events are also valuable to the village in fact that more than income we are able to generate in small businesses, the more tax money for business pays to the village. When someone attends a market, so many do think may grab a drink or fill up their gas tank before heading home, or grab a quick dinner at one of our great establishments. Even if it's not that day, they may take a mental note to visit soon. This all generates tax dollars back into our town. It's not always about getting the sale today, but letting someone know you're there so they remember you the next time they are passing through. Those of us that plan and oversee the events in town, which may I add is a very small group, they work very hard to try and bring successful events that people enjoy attending. There are a lot of planning and details that go into each event. It's also a very competitive market. There are shows and festivals popping up everywhere. When events are fairly new, it can sometimes be difficult to get vendors to take a chance on setting up out of the fear of lack of traffic. Your setup, free truly, can make or break to return, and you begin to get new vendor requests with each passing event. The goal that one day, with hard work, your event will be highly desirable in this location and will sell out spaces in turn, allowing you to charge more of a setup fee. Unfortunately, we are not there yet. We are seeing growth in new faces, but future distances starting to say, give us a chance, but we are now nowhere near where we hope to be one day. With all this being said, and the issue of hand of food trucks, I want to give my feedback and background on why events are important for our community and how they grow over the years. Food trucks are very important pieces of successful events. Look around the room. You can honestly tell me that as you think about attending the Madison County Fair that is currently underway, you aren't thinking about what fair food you will be indulging. Am I right? It's something that's new, that comes to our community a few times a year. Getting locals out there, out of their house and into the downtown, where they just might stop and sit at one of the new benches or tables and enjoy their food and see what else this little town has to offer. Like anyone, food trucks need to make profit, and without a guaranteed number, will turn away from high-priced events. Recently, the fee is set for a 3-day summer jam event with $100. When the added fee that now becomes $175, or even more concerning, the street market, a 5-hour event was set up for a fee of $40, now becoming $80. I feel strongly that this proposed fee amounts are going to outprice our events to food trucks, which is concerning to me as a business owner in town, as some of my best business days have been when food trucks are lining our streets. I ask that when you're voting this evening, you factor in all areas of concern and what it felt to be the best interest of our businesses that operate in this village. After all, combined, they are downtown. If the vote that the fee will go into effect, I ask that it be considered to become effective after Christmas, the village therefore not affecting those remaining events scheduled for 2021.
Can I comment? I've commented the last 2 readings, a lot of the sentiments that Barbie just expressed, but as she expressed also, I would ask, I would make a motion that that we, first, I want to make a motion, I'm going to go big, that we waive fees on existing nonprofit events. So I want to make that motion that we would waive the fees on the existing nonprofit events that are already established.
Okay, so I have Becky placing the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. I will do a roll call. Becky?
Yes.
Andy?
No.
David?
No.
Melanie?
Yes.
Craig?
No.
Motion has failed.
Okay. Now, I would like to make another motion. Then I would like to make a motion that the existing events for 2021 that have already been scheduled be waived.
Existing events for 2021.
And that would include, there's one street market left, and then there's Christmas in the Village left. So those two events. And with that said, the existing, I just want to reiterate to everybody, the existing events that these nonprofits do, the Market Crew, there are 2 street markets. There's a spring and a fall street market, so there's 2 events. And then the Chamber of Commerce pre-existing events are Summer Jam and Christmas in the Village. Those are the 2 pre-existing events for each group. So with that said, I would like to make a motion to waive the fees in 2021 for the 2 remaining existing events that are already scheduled.
Okay, Becky has placed the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call. Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Craig?
No.
Becky?
Yes.
Motion is passed. Okay. All right, is there any more other comments for having this being placed on the 3rd reading?
All right, can I have a motion to place on the 3rd reading?
Have that motion?
I'll second.
David? Andy, was second? Roll call. Becky?
No.
Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
All right, I have a motion for passage.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Craig, Andy? All right, Andy?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Melanie?
Yes.
Craig?
Yes.
Becky?
No.
Okay, ordinance 2021-12 has passed.
All right, thank you. Next, we have roundtables. Anybody have anything?
On roundtable, the reason why I had to cancel one meeting, I became a great uncle to Noah Michael Timmons, 9.5-pound baby, born in Austin, Texas. And he's going to be a big boy, and I'm hoping he'll be the athlete I never was. That's what I'm hoping. But that's the only thing I want to announce, yeah.
Oh, it's true. Everything's big in Texas.
Yes, sir.
Can you announce what the total amount for the last vote was?
It's a what?
What the vote was?
For the passage,
Yes.
we have Andy is a yes, David is a yes, Melanie is a yes, Craig is a yes, and Becky is a no.
I have a couple things. I wanted to just bring a little attention to the last couple weeks in the Messenger. There's a really nice article and a lot of pictures. The Mount Sterling Library held an event with Alpaca Farm. And they had like a little petting event and made finger puppets from the fleece from the alpacas and things. And really nice pictures. And it looks like there was a great turnout of like 40 or more people. So happy. The library always has a lot of great events. They have another one coming up Saturday. There's a horse and round petting zoo this Saturday at July 17th, 10:30 to 12:30. So I would encourage all children to go out there. They're also in the middle of a summer reading program that goes through the 24th. You can still pick up your paper to record your reading, and every 10 books you get eligible for a prize. So, you know, if you're not visiting the library, make sure you do. It's open back up, and it has some, you know, really great things for the kids. And then also in the paper this week, I wanted to point out that, well, a couple of things. Some really nice pictures on parade in Mount Sterling. If everybody saw. Few pictures from our parade. It was a really nice parade, and we had a good turnout, and hopefully next year it's even better. There were a lot of people, you know, that were just so ready to get their patriotic on. It was really nice. So that's another great thing. And right now the Madison County Fair, I'm sure everybody knows, is going on. New this year, kids can enjoy rides for free from 1 to 4 p.m., Tuesday through Friday. So tomorrow through Friday, if you go 1 to 4 p.m. with your paid admission, you get free rides. And then there's also the usual ride bracelet deals that you'll have to ask the fair board. They don't spell them all out here. But so they have a really nice little insert to a guide at the fair. So if you you can get out there and support those kids who have their FFA projects and 4-H projects. That's awesome. There was a $10,000 donation to the fair this year. That was fantastic. Really helped the fair board out, I'm sure. And one other thing, talk about volunteerism a lot. And some people can't physically get out and do volunteer work because of their job or their health or their just living situation or whatever it may be. But there was a nice article. The Humane Society of Madison County is facing some major challenges. They just got more than 50 cats from a hoarding situation, and and this is the time of year when kittens are born anyway too. So they're in real desperate need of some supplies. So if you can't volunteer, there's a nice article in here. They need paper towels and litter and kitten food, adult food, monetary donations for vet care. And then also, if you want to adopt, cats and kittens as well. But so think about that as another way to volunteer. If you can't volunteer your time, maybe just a couple bags of cat litter or something like that to the Humane Society. And that's all I have.
Thank
I
you.
want to bring up about the museum, since Becky talked about the library there. We still got the military display yet. If you haven't had a chance to see that, it's something to see. We got stuff from all the veterans that served in World War II from this community. Also, I brought some pictures from Dad's personal pictures that he took in World War II. And if it just take 5 minutes, it's well worth it. Not two little villages have a complete military. Even the man from Groveport said one time he was surprised of what we had. And the reading program is still going on for young people to read so many books. And I said, yeah, you got computers and stuff, but there's so much when you pick up a book. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
I have one more thing, sorry. Out at the park, a couple things. The Nazarene Church, I believe, is having another one of their monthly gatherings, the 18th out there. And that's awesome. And then the following week, Saturday, July 24th, Special Olympics is having a softball tournament. And we did that 2 years ago, and it's great. There's 2 different fields going. I know the American Legion comes out and does a flag raising ceremony and things. And it's a really good event. I know Parks and Rec is going to support this year. I haven't even told Melanie yet. By doing some of the concession for the participants. And so that is July 24th. And then again, just to reiterate what Melanie said, the following Saturday is movie night. So the park's going to be really busy 3 weekends in a row.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, if there is nothing else, we are adjourned. Thank you.
You sign your paper?
Oh, ever sign that?